We're back with the A-Team. Steve, I want to turn to you. The Benghazi is widening. We now are seeing leaks coming out of the White House. I don't know if they're intentional or otherwise, but it's clear that much more will be on the president's back for all the mistakes that have been made in Benghazi.
Yeah, I think that's right. There was a very interesting story today by Cheryl Atkinson at CBS News, who's been doing a really first-rate job on this, been covering it sort of from the very beginning. And she has a number of administration officials expressing regret about certain aspects of what happened in Benghazi and after Benghazi. And it's an interesting sort of change of tone from the administration on this, and I think it's not insignificant that they went to her to try to do this. I think they're trying to take a different tack in the hopes that people will kind of move past this if they express regret. The problem is there's so much that we still need to know. I mean, we still, even after going through these emails which left in tatters some of the claims of the White House, that the White House wasn't involved, the State Department wasn't involved, we still don't know who pushed the movie. How did that become the central part of the administration's story after the attack? It's an important question. There are lots of questions about what happened during the attack, too.
And if I may, I'm going to use this language, Jedediah, the lies about the amateur movie. That was a campaign of lies directed at the American people, indeed the world, because the president carried it to the General Assembly on September 25th.
Yes.
These emails, as Stephen has documented in his reporting, they not only contradict, in my judgment, this White House, proves them to be liars, objectively so.
That's true, and I think for most of the public, it was when the talking point manipulation was exposed that everyone sort of sat back and said, hold on a second. What Jay Carney has been telling us for a very long time isn't true. These weren't stylistic changes. These were significant omissions. These were significant changes. The State Department was involved. The White House was involved. Where was the president that night? How involved was he? Was he communicating with Secretary Clinton? Because Hicks gave testimony that he had communicated with Secretary Clinton. Did she then communicate with Obama? Why are we in the dark? I think that really changed the discussion and made the American people wake up and say there's been a lot of deceit here, and now we want to find out the truth.
There is one guy we got to hear from. That's Tom Donilon, the National Security Advisor.
Yeah.
His name has been absent. And there's a good reason, because he was the point person, Jedediah, on September 11th, and he is a leaker par excellence, and he's kept his name out by leaking.
And in the modified limited hangout established so importantly, if you will, and regrettably by the Nixon administration, and Watergate is being practiced here by this administration. And in my judgment, you're the professional. It's rather clumsy the way they're doing it.
Yeah, Lou, there is not a direct nexus between what they're saying and what's coming out. It's almost, to me, like just the big lie technique. It's old news. He spoke of it. It's a sideshow. It's all politics. That doesn't answer the very real questions you're talking about.
Let me ask you all this. This president looks as if he's at sea, speaking to the press here in the last two appearances. It's as if he doesn't know how to behave without a compliant and even complicit media. Your thoughts?
Yeah, he's not used to being challenged. He's not used to tough questions. He figured that he would be able to say, well, this is the right politicizing this whole Benghazi thing, and it would just end there. He didn't realize that the press was going to step up, particularly with this Justice Department AP issue that came up, and we're going to say, hold on a second, we have some serious questions. So I think he feels challenged and uncomfortable.
Stephen?
Well, there was a big break, I think, with Benghazi, because as you pointed out, I mean, the things that Jay Carney was saying were just not true. And, you know, I think reporters who are inclined to give the president, give the White House the benefit of the doubt for, you know, these past many months, but really 4+ years, stopped and took stock of where they were and thought, geez, I was reporting this because Jay Carney told me this, and now it turns out that it's not true, and not true in an obvious and demonstrable way. I mean, it wasn't the case that the White House and the State Department made a singular adjustment. They rewrote the whole thing.
Doug, you get the last word here. It's about 30 seconds.
The Obama agenda effectively is dead, meaning the president may be adrift, as I've written this week. The buck does stop with him, but there's no focus on guns, immigration, economic policy, nothing, no matter how hard they try.
At this point, his credibility is so severely damaged. His character is so assailed here. Should anyone be following that agenda? We'll save that answer for next week. The answers will be coming fast and furious.